Hello everyone, and welcome to this important update. Today, we are talking about a major winter storm that will be diving from Canada all the way down to the central United States, then into the southeast. Some very heavy snow and ice is looking likely, so let's start analyzing all of that right after this. Let's start by looking at the GFS model. Over the next couple of days, things stay relatively calm, until our storm starts nearing the southeast on January 15th. Notice those pink colors, that's freezing rain. And, according to this model, it could be going on for a while, which could be very dangerous. Heavy snow stays north of the ice, but that can change. One thing I would like to talk about before we move forward is how crucial the exact path of this storm is. Let's analyze 3. If the red track was to come true, which is roughly what most models are agreeing on right now, then this would bring ice to upstate South Carolina, and a big portion of North Carolina. There would be pure snow farther north, and rain south of the red track. The other possible scenario is the green track. If you live in the Carolinas, this would be a more ideal track, because this would bring pure snow to places like North Georgia, northern South Carolina, and most of North Carolina. Although, this would bring the freezing rain threat farther south. The last and most unlikely track is the yellow line. If this somehow happened, most of the southeast would see some sort of frozen precipitation, with snow as far south as central Georgia and southern South Carolina. Again, this is highly unlikely, so we shouldn't spend much time talking about it. Let's now take a minute or two to look at other model runs, as well as accumulations. Here is the Canadian model. This one is actually quite similar to the GFS, showing about the same track. Snow moves into the Carolinas, before a monster area of freezing rain moves in. As of now, the Carolinas, but mainly North Carolina, should be more concerned about ice rather than snow. Lastly, is the European model. Again, this one is pretty similar to the other ones, showing snowfall moving in initially, before a major ice event sets up for North and South Carolina. After that, the storm moves north. Let's now talk about how much snow and ice can be expected. Here is the GFS. This model continues to be the most intense with the accumulation. One thing that is important to note is that this particular map takes into account accumulation of snow, ice, and sleet combined. For example, an area that says 6 inches of snow may really be getting 4 inches of snow, along with an inch or 2 of sleet and freezing rain. Even still, these are major totals. Here is the European model. This one only takes into account the snowfall, so this is quite impressive. We could be seeing totals as high as 5 to 10 inches in places like Charlotte, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, and other major cities in the south. I also can't rule out the possibility for an inch or 2 of wintry precipitation as far south as Columbia, South Carolina. And lastly, the Canadian model. This one is probably the most realistic model out of the other ones. Places in the south like Greenville, Charlotte, Greensboro, and Winston-Salem could see 1 to 3 inches of wintry precipitation if this was to be correct. But as always, this is a major disagreement, so it's best to wait until we are closer to really get into detail about accumulations. Lastly, it's time to talk about ice. The GFS is on the left and the Canadian model is on the right. Both of these models show an extremely significant and dangerous ice storm for parts of the Carolinas. This trend has continued for a while, and it's actually the most likely scenario. Please begin to make preparations if you live anywhere in the dark colors on that map. Well, that's all the information I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that video. It took me a long time to prepare this video and make it as accurate as I can, so I would appreciate if you subscribed. Please do note that there is still time for things to change, so please stay tuned in case this storm trends towards something different. See you again soon.